Okay, now we're going to talk about a man of no importance. Tell me, are there any men of no importance?
Well, yes.
Okay, you're going to tell me about it. though.
So we're doing a musical called A Man of No Importance.
Okay.
It is based in 1960s Dublin, Ireland, so it's an Irish musical.
Oh, I love Irish musicals. Yes.
It is written by the same two people who wrote Ragtime, Seussical,
Oh, really?
Anastasia.
Wow, wow.
And it's got a book written by one of the most prolific gay playwrights of our time, Terrence McNally.
Oh, Terrence McNally.
Yes.
His plays is amazing.
He's a brilliant writer.
Yes, he is.
He has wrote the book for this show, and it takes place in 1960s Dublin, as we already said. It's about a bus conductor named Alfie Byrne.
And you're Alfie, right?
Yes, I'm Alfie.
Okay, you're
Brian's
the
playing
conductor
our
there.
Alfie, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
He's basically he's in the closet and he's trying to figure out how to live authentically in 1960s Dublin and try
Yeah, it was
to
different back then,
yes,
right?
100%.
Although I heard that Ireland has approved gay marriage, and
Yes.
that was really great.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's trying to navigate homophobia, internal feelings, and it's a. I always try to find projects that tell a good story.
Yeah.
And so this is a beautiful, beautiful story of both self-acceptance and acceptance from a community that you would probably not expect acceptance from.
Well, especially in 1960s, you're talking about.
It's a big Catholic time. The Catholic Church was still running things basically in the country of Ireland in the 60s, still in charge of all things moral. And so, there's a...
So they did not have a separation of church and state then, or they did but didn't.
Did but didn't.
Yeah.
It kind of was an unsaid thing that, the Catholic Church still kind of held on.
Had the tight control.
Yeah. And so Alfie Alfie loves all things Oscar Wilde. And so that hence the name A Man of No Importance. Because Oscar
okay, that's where you got that. Okay, good.
Oscar Wilde's probably most famous property is the importance of being earnest. And so Alfie is also in charge of a local community theater. They do all their performances in the basement of a church, St. Imelda's.
Oh, in a church. Whoa,
in the basement social hall of a church. That's where
they
they
probably
do their
didn't know
shows.
about it though.
Yeah. And so he's got all these people in his life, and he's just trying to be him in a way that feels authentic for him. And we help him make that discovery, and by the end of the show, you're with him the entire way. So
Well, I got to ask Alfie here. Well,
Yes.
I'm not Alfie, but anyway.
Yeah.
How was it to get into the character?
It was quite the journey, trying to figure out who my character was, and then finding like a relationship between him and I. And so coming to realization of who he is, coming out with the bravery to accept himself, and then to come out to the world, basically. And for me, this is being my first production, kind of getting that bravery.
It was your first production?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, very first one.
You took on a big role.
It's a very big role.
What was your background? Tell me how you jumped into this.
I've performed with the Albany Gay Men's Choir.
Uh-huh.
So I love to sing, but I've always loved to act. I've always wanted to get into acting and combining acting and singing. So I'm like, why not try out for a musical?
It's all stage work.
Yes.
So then, this is your first production, and you got a lead.
I do. Yes.
Amazing.
There was some strategy in that casting choice. My strategy was this: I knew that Brian could sing, and I felt that he probably had enough. He has enough natural character that he could possibly identify with the character a little in a much deeper level than a person who wasn't Brian could.
Okay.
And so I kind of took that gamble in trying to,
Ooh, a gamble.
I took that gamble, knowing kind of in my heart of hearts that it wasn't really a gamble. I knew that Brian would connect to the story of Alfie Byrne, and I knew that him telling that particular story is basically, him telling a version of his own story.
Yeah.
And so it feels authentic when it's rooted in that sort of authenticity.
How big is your cast?
We have 15.
15 in your
Yes, we have
You're
15.
you performing at the Edison Club?
We are at the Edison Club in Rexford.
Yeah.
in
How's
their
that?
ballroom.
Is they have a stage area or?
They have a ballroom. and
Actually, I
they're-
had my wedding reception there. That's why I'm
Oh,
just
there you go. Yeah, they have
many
a,
years ago.
Yes. They have a ballroom, and in their ballroom, they have a little stage set up, a
Oh,
little
okay.
proscenium stage. We are doing a kind of a 3/4 thrust feel for this show, kind of bringing it out into the audience.
Oh,
and,
nice.
And in 3 sides, which is its own tricky thing to do 3/4 thrust, because you have to remember your actors at some point, an actor is going to have its back to you. There is no way around it. You try to minimize those moments.
Well, if you went theater in the circle, that's the same.
Yeah,
same thing.
Yeah. The big thing I tell people when we're doing this kind of style in the round or 3/4 thrust is to play to the portals of the theater, because if you're
Yeah.
looking out at a portal, chances are
You're gonna
most
get
of the
somebody.
audience is
Yeah.
going to see you.
Yeah.
So.
So how does it feel to be in a stage like that?
It's quite interesting, as you said, not upstaging and trying to, I don't want my back against the audience. But yeah, he keeps referring to the portal, and now I'm starting to really understand what he means by the portal. So I thought a portal into some other, land or something.
Yeah.
But it's been great, and I'm excited to do it on show and see how that feels,
When
because
do
I've
you
never
open?
even seen one.
We open next Friday, June 20th. We
Okay.
have 2 weekends, so Friday, June 20th at 7, Saturday, June 21st at 7, and Sunday, June 22nd at 2 o'clock. Sorry,
You have an
Sunday at 2.
afternoon one, yeah.
Yes, and then the following weekend, 27, 28, 29, again, Friday, Saturday at 7, Sunday at 2. Those are our 2 weekends for A Man of No
And then the
Importance.
big cast party.
And then the big cast party, yes.
Because afterwards.
Yes, Bunbury Players is a free theater company.
I know, and that's amazing that
Yeah,
you
we
can
try
do
to
that.
keep it. We try
you
to
take
keep it-
donations though.
We do have a suggested donation of $20, but again, we won't turn
you
you
away.
away if you cannot.
I don't know if everybody realizes, but it costs money
It's yes.
to put on a production. We're not talking about costumes and sets. We're talking about the book.
Yep.
And I don't think a
Musicals
lot of
are-
people
yeah.
realize, and it depends how many nights it's shown.
Yep.
You got to pay so much a night.
And the size of your audience changes how much you pay for your rights, depending on how many seats you have.
Oh, I didn't know that. I mean,
yes.
yeah, I can't
There are
remember. I was
several
involved in it for a
factors.
while, but I
Yeah.
forgot that part
Yeah,
of
there
it.
are several factors in how they come up with how you pay your rights to the property, how many seats you have, what the price of your ticket is, where it is, that sort of thing. Musical theater in particular, musical theater is very expensive
Very
because
expensive.
of the rights.
Yeah.
This is Bunbury Players' very first musical. They've not mounted a musical before. We've done some cabarets, but you don't really pay for those. You pay your ASCAP kind of.
Yeah, the ASCAP, yeah.
And so you get that coverage there. But this is their very first fully staged musical. So, and I am ecstatic that they chose both A Man of No Importance and for me to helm this project.
I
It is
just
a
read
beautiful story.
recently that there was a high school that decided to do a play or a musical or whatever it was, but never got the rights. And then they had to pull it, and then one of the parents paid for the rights.
Yes.
And so I wanted to bring that up because
Sure.
I think people do not realize when they get a ticket, they go, "Oh, that seems like a lot to pay." And you go, "No, these are all volunteers that are doing this,
Correct.
but there's a cost behind that."
Yes.
So
Yes, I mean it's
Throw money in.
100%. Yes, we will take your $20 suggested donation, but if you want to give us more, we will gladly
you'll take it
more
all.
money.
Well, I'll say break a leg, but you're not gonna break anything. You're gonna break
Please.
records. How's that?